Today, we delve into a growing internal conflict within Reform UK, stemming from its complicated relationship with supporters of Tommy Robinson. Recently, party leader Richard Tice firmly stated that Reform UK intends to distance itself entirely from Robinson's followers, not only those involved in violent actions, but any supporters linked to Robinson. This stance reflects Tice's desire to uphold a particular image for Reform UK, aiming to disassociate the party from any controversial affiliations that might harm its reputation. However, this approach has sparked tension among high-profile figures within the party. Ben Habib and Howard Cox, both influential voices in Reform UK, hold contrasting views on the issue. Howard Cox in particular has voiced strong support for Robinson, going as far as to assert that he shouldn't be in prison. Cox's comments have introduced a notable division within Reform UK, as his perspective diverges sharply from Tice's vision for the party. This disagreement has not only stirred debate within the party, but has also drawn public attention, raising questions about the direction Reform UK intends to pursue. For Nigel Farage, who has long worked to broaden Reform UK's appeal, this divide presents a complex challenge. Farage's leadership has been focused on crafting an image that resonates with a wide range of supporters while avoiding association with extremist views that could undermine the party's credibility. The internal dispute over Robinson's supporters places Farage in a difficult position. He must navigate a path that balances the interests of the party's mainstream base with those who align more closely with Robinson's views. By attempting to appeal to a broad audience, Farage aims to solidify Reform UK's standing within British politics without jeopardizing its values or alienating core supporters. As this internal conflict unfolds, the question of how Reform UK manages its stance on free speech, political expression, and controversial affiliations will be pivotal to its future. Tice's efforts to distance the party from Robinson's supporters may align with a long-term vision for Reform UK, but without consensus from key members like Cox and Habib, the party risks fracturing its support. This moment could prove crucial for Reform UK's trajectory, testing its capacity to unite diverse perspectives while adhering to a clear, consistent political identity. The internal conflict within Reform UK regarding its association with Tommy Robinson's supporters highlights a significant strategic dilemma. Should the party distance itself from Robinson to appeal to mainstream voters, or should it embrace his base to consolidate support from those who share his views? Party leader Nigel Farage, known for his pragmatic approach, faces the challenge of balancing these competing interests. Deputy leader Richard Tice has publicly stated that the party wants nothing to do with Robinson and his affiliates, aiming to maintain a respectable image and avoid the controversies associated with Robinson's far-right activism. However, this stance risks alienating a segment of potential supporters who resonate with Robinson's views. Conversely, aligning too closely with Robinson could deter mainstream voters and invite criticism from political opponents. This balancing act is further complicated by the actions of other senior figures within the party. Former Deputy Leader Ben Habib and London mayoral candidate Howard Cox have expressed support for Robinson, suggesting that the party should not alienate his followers. Such internal disagreements underscore the challenges Reform UK faces in defining its identity and voter base. The party's stance on Robinson is likely to become a focal point in political discourse, especially as rival politicians like Kemi Badenoch may seize the opportunity to challenge Reform UK on this contentious association. Farage's ability to navigate this issue will be crucial in determining the party's future direction and electoral success. As this complex situation unfolds, it will be interesting to see if Nigel Farage faces pressure from journalists or political opponents to clarify his position on Robinson's activism. So far, it remains unclear whether Farage actively disavows Robinson's views or merely chooses to avoid a public endorsement. This ambiguity not only underscores underlying tensions within Reform UK, but also signals a potential divide within the party, revealing an ideological fracture that could impact its future direction. Such a moment presents a unique opportunity for political figures like Kemi Badenoch to step forward, especially if she decides to challenge Reform UK's stance more directly. Should Badenoch seize this chance, she may effectively place Farage in a challenging position, one that would likely force him to articulate a clear stance on Robinson and his supporters. This scenario could have considerable consequences for Farage, as he might either affirm or distance himself from Robinson's activism, both of which could have lasting effects on his support base. The implications of this situation reach beyond Reform UK and touch on wider political dynamics, particularly as figures like Badenoch navigate their own platforms and agendas. By pressing Farage for transparency, Badenoch could shape the discourse around Robinson's influence and further spotlight the ideological divides within British politics. Her response to this moment may set a precedent, affecting how other parties address issues of controversial activism within their ranks and how political identities are framed to appeal to a polarized electorate. We'll be watching closely to see how this develops and the ripple effects it may have across the political spectrum. If this analysis resonates with you, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe if you found this breakdown insightful, and consider joining the channel for more in-depth discussions on the current political landscape. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to bringing you more content soon.